What's up guys, my name is Monica. I am a personal trainer, mama, exercise physiologist, and a certified nutrition coach. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm actually going through pregnancy, exercise, and nutrition. Today we'll be talking about exercise in the third trimester. If you've been watching and this is not your first time here, thank you for supporting. You're actually probably finishing these videos up for the third trimester. And I'll actually be posting videos into postpartum life and how to recover, things like that. But if you're enjoying this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll be posting videos every Monday, so if you want to get an alert, definitely hit that, and I will see you guys on the next video for sure. But let's go ahead and hop into third trimester exercise. So when it comes to third trimester exercise, there are a few key things that we need to talk about because your body is changing. You do have relaxin in your body, so you are expanding in order to adapt to your pregnancy. So the first thing that I actually want to talk about is stretching. So when it comes to stretching, there are some pros and cons to it. Stretching can be really good, especially if you are having pain, but it can be a con if you are suffering from symphysis pubis dysfunction. So a lot of the times pubis dysfunction is in that lower pubic area. It feels like there's a pain anytime you do certain movements. It kind of aggravates it and just kind of stays throughout the day. So if you're somebody that is suffering from that, stretching does not actually help this. Just finding the movements that are bothering you are the best way to avoid that pain, so you want to avoid those movements, okay? Stretching, because you do have that relaxant in your body, it is going to really not be beneficial, so just be mindful of that. Stretching doesn't really help SPD, especially if you're suffering from it. So just make sure you're mindful of the movements that are triggering it. Once you find those movements, get rid of those movements or try to avoid those movements in the day. The second thing that I want to talk about is that breaches are common when it comes to your third trimester. Now, a lot of times baby is head down, but sometimes they are breached, and there are a couple few things that you can do. I actually link my Instagram post that I did here, but you could also find more information on spinningbabies.com. This just helps you kind of figure out a way to get that baby flipped. Another thing I'd recommend is going to a chiropractor. They are people that can help. A lot of the times breaches, which I did not know, can happen from having an imbalanced body. So the baby is just trying to find a way to sit comfortably in your body. So if you've tried the spinning babies and you haven't tried a chiropractor, I definitely do that just to kind of help you out, because like I said, your body does have imbalances because you're adapting to your pregnancy. The third thing that I want to talk about is exercise. So if you're somebody that has been exercising during your pregnancy, you can definitely continue exercise as long as movements aren't painful for you. Again, the recommended amount of daily activity is going to be 150 minutes per day, not per day, per week. So you can either break that down into however many segments you'd like. But you can have strength training segments and then like a walking segment, just something like that to keep you active, because this time is sometimes people like to try and induce labor, so walking is going to be good. Now just be mindful here, depending on your activity level. So regular walking can actually induce labor for people that don't really do a high intensity of exercise. You really have to make sure you are like power walking if you are someone that has been working out through their pregnancy in order to even induce labor and contractions, okay? So just be mindful, the more kind of active you've been, the harder you're going to have to work to induce that labor. Sometimes it doesn't work and your body just doesn't want to do it, and that's totally fine. That's why there are doctors here to help. But if you want to try and induce labor as naturally as possible, definitely go for power walks. Do something that's going to really kind of stimulate your muscles to force those contractions. But continue the activity that you've been doing. Again, just be mindful of your movements, because sometimes it can trigger your SPD if you are experiencing that, and it may actually get worse as you get bigger in this third trimester. Fourth thing that I'm going to talk about is actually just staying off of your back. I mentioned this in the second trimester video because it is really important to make sure you're staying off your back as you get bigger. Again, I'm just going to say what I said in the second trimester video. It's going to be important because whenever you're lying on your back, you're pushing down on the vena cava, which helps oxygenate your body and baby. So you want to just be mindful of that If you are doing lying down movements, just be sure that you're doing them for short periods of time and then getting back up so that you can reoxygenate and your body can reoxygenate too, okay? So that is just one thing. Another thing too, at this point in time, lying on your back may be a little difficult because you do have an increased arch in that lumbar spine, so just be mindful of that. If you're finding it uncomfortable just lying flat down, that's probably why, because your spine is actually increased at the bottom, so you don't want to aggravate it. So that's another reason why lying on your back is a big no-no once you get further along into your pregnancy. Fifth thing that I actually want to talk about when it comes about when we're talking about exercise is unilateral movements. So unilateral movements are just movements on one side. So if you're somebody that was doing like single leg RDLs, single leg kickbacks, whatever it is, those movements actually may be a little more uncomfortable at this point in time because your body is different. One, you have adapted to your pregnancy and you're heavier. So this actually can trigger some of those SPD like pains if you are experiencing it. If you're not experiencing that, that's great. Awesome for you, because when you have SPD, it does not feel good. But just be mindful, unilateral movements may not be as comfortable, so you may need to find modifications or just do bilateral movements, since that's going to be the best option for you. So you can still work out as long as it's not triggering any pain and causing you pain throughout the day. Last thing I want to talk about is just doing nice and gentle movements. So a lot of times there are still people doing exercises that are very high intensity, but just be mindful and make sure that you are balancing those movements with like mindful movement, kind of relaxing your body at this point in time, because the goal is that your body is relaxed when you're getting ready to push that baby out. You don't want to be, doing hardcore movements, keeping the body tight when you're trying to get ready to induce that labor. So you want to go ahead and just do some mindful stretches. I actually have a video of some stretching that you can do before you're getting ready for that baby, just to get your body loose and lubricated, so that your body is like relaxed. You don't want it to, like I said, be tensed up and like a rock. So that's pretty much it when it comes to third trimester exercise. There really isn't much else other than just being mindful of your movements. If you can work out, great. If you can't because you're feeling nauseous, whatever it is, pregnancy is different for everybody, but do what you can when it comes to movement in your third trimester. No pushes here, because I know a lot of times things can be uncomfortable. If you're working out in hot summer months, it can be a little hot. So just things like that. So listen to your body for sure. These are just recommendations and guidelines that are going to help you in your third trimester. But if you do like this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys on the next video where I'll be talking about postpartum recovery and exercise. So I'll see you soon. Bye.